Hey guys, another Geek123 here, and today I am carrying on the Road to Avengers 2020 series, which if you do not know, is where I take a full-on look into Marvel video games from the 2000s up to hopefully the Avengers game, which is releasing in September of this year. Well, the game with a lot of info to get into today is X-Men Legends. Well, anyway, let's have a look into this game. Overall, X-Men Legends is an action role-playing video game developed by Raven Software and published by Activision. The game was released on the GameCube, PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox in 2004. In the game, players can play one of the 15 X-Men characters with the ability to switch between 4 computer or human control characters at any time. The game overall follows the character Alison Crestmere, a young mutant who has the ability to summon and control volcanic activity while also being taught to control her powers at the X-Mansion, with the X-Men being sent to several missions. The team also eventually discovers Magneto's plan to cover the Earth in darkness from his base on Asteroid M. The game itself received positive reviews from critics, with the Xbox version being the best received, getting scores such as 83% or 82 out of 100 on review websites such as GameRankings and Metacritic. Moving on to specifically the gameplay, since the game is an action role-playing game and the players can choose a team up to 4 characters from the X-Men, players can unlock different characters as they play out throughout the game. On the console versions of the game, up to 4 players can play in the cooperative campaign, with the ability to add or remove players at a time. Players can also interact with non-playable characters in this mode as well. The game also features skirmish mode, which allows players to fight against each other or against waves of computer-controlled enemies. Characters also gain experience points in this game, so players can upgrade their forming characters and other abilities that are unique to that character. To even expand on this, players can find items during gameplay which can further and enhance abilities. Characters can also combine attacks to create a combo, which 2 or more players can use their power on a single enemy at a time. They can also do this with their special abilities to create a super combo. The expansion in the game also serves as a hub that the team can return to after each mission. While the players are there, one can control Alison as she explores and learns about herself and the rest of the X-Men. Players can also view loading screens, art, cinematics and comic book covers they have found during playing the game. To further learn about the X-Men and their enemies, players can also find biographies of the characters at computers located around the mansion. 2 vendors can also be found as well. We have Forge, who sells equipment, and Mordor Healer, who provides health and energy packs, as well as training discs to use in the Danger Room. Overall, the plot is not set in any particular Marvel universe. At the start of the game, we see that Alison is abducted by Genetic Research and Security Organization. However, Mystique and Blob take Alison away from the soldiers until Wolverine and Cyclops save her to take her to Xavier Institute to explore her powers. We then see Alison trade as the X-Men investigate an Alscan research facility begin attacks by the Brotherhood of Mutants. The team then stops the Brotherhood from rescuing Magneto from captivity aboard the USS Arbitia. However, Mystique then frees Magneto as the X-Men have to rescue crew members from the Brotherhood's damage. When Alison finishes her training, she then takes on the codename Magma, and the X-Men then travel to Russia to help Colossus prevent the Brotherhood from obtaining weapons-grade plutonium. After their mission, the team then discover that Colossus' sister, Elena, is in a coma placed on her by the Shadow King. Professor Xavier, Emma Frost and Jean Grey then enter the astral plane to save her. They succeed, but Professor Xavier is captured by the Shadow King. After the capture, the team then learn about General William Kincaid, a leader in the anti-mutant movement, and he's building mutant hunting sentinels. Magneto then travels to his base on Asteroid M, where he reveals his plan to cover the Earth in darkness. Meanwhile, the X-Men free Xavier, who defeats the Shadow King in a psychic battle. The team then travel to Asteroid M, where they discover that the asteroid is on collision course with Earth. They then search for the gravitation, a device used to pilot the asteroid. However, the team then encounter General again, who pilots the Master Mold, a larger, more powerful prototype. They then defeat him, and Magma uses her powers to steer the asteroid back into space. The game then ends with Apocalypse watching the team on the asteroid. Now that we've gone through the gameplay and the plot, let's finally go through their development. The game was announced in a press release by Activision on April 23rd, 2003. The game is Raven Software's first console title. When the team decided they wanted to make an X-Men RPG, they started to brainstorm their story, gameplay and design ideas. They overall decided to feature a team-based dynamic, something they felt was absent from previous X-Men games. The original specific idea was to feature turn-based gameplay similar to Final Fantasy games. However, the team concluded that the players would prefer more action that allowed control of the character's powers. The group then began to experiment with 7 different gameplay models, and opted for one that allowed players to freely switch characters. The overall final product mimics industrial dungeon crawling video games. Raven designed gameplay with strategy in mind. This is where it features of the character's abilities to allow different interactions in the environment. From this, the staff hoped that the differences in characters will force players to switch between characters regularly for different missions. The staff also decided to include flashback missions as an homage to the franchise that it's based on, with specific comic book issues being found and inspired the different flashback scenes. The story was also penned by a group of former Marvel writers known as Man of Action, consisting of Duncan Roy, Joe Casey, Joe Kelly and Stephen T. Siegel, with the man himself Stan Lee consulting. Man of Action chose the character Magma as their lead because she was always a blank slate character. They also said the script had 500 pages. The game's voice cast also considered of large TV and film stars, including Patrick Stewart reprising his role as Professor Xavier from the X-Men films, Tony J voiced Magneto, Ed Enzer voicing Healer, Low Diamond Phillips voicing Forge, Danica McKellar voicing Jubilee, and many more. Music for the game was composed by Rick Schaffer of Los Angeles-based Woo Music. Characters were also selected from different timelines of the X-Men universe. At lead, Ryan Peltier said that he took the most memorable characters from the last 40 years and grouped them together. The character costumes were inspired by Marvel Comics' Ultimate X-Men, but some of the characters were not in that run of the comics, so Marvel allowed Raven to create unique looks of them characters. Overall guys, that is all the information I could gather on X-Men Legends. Honestly, I haven't personally played this game myself, but by looking into it, it seems a very good video game. And honestly, I really want to play it a lot, and hopefully I can in the future. If you guys have played it, please comment down below your experiences, and let me know if you liked the video or you dislike parts of the video. Just give me some feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts about these videos. And if you have noticed I've missed out some information, you could also comment down that below. I'd love to find out more information about this game. And if you liked the video, please like, and overall, please subscribe if you have watched this content for a while. It would mean a lot to see you guys love my content. And finally, thank you so much for watching, and peace.